Hey guys, welcome back to my home library and another reading vlog because today is very special. Today we're rereading one of my favorite books of all time ever, Interview with the Vampire. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite books. Honestly, my favorite in the series is Queen of the Damned, which is book number 3. Editing Megan here. I had to pop in, first of all, to show you my shirt. If you know, you know. But secondly, because I did not accurately introduce this video really. It turns out this video goes off the rails. I actually started filming that first clip you just saw a year ago. I'm on spring break right now, 2025. I filmed that spring break 2024, that intro. So you can tell things did not go as planned with rereading this book. And let's just say this is not the reading vlog that I thought it was going to be. So I'm sorry if it's a little chaotic. It's a little bit of a mess. Like I said, doesn't turn out the way I anticipated. So stay tuned for the ending because it's wild. But also I originally was going to make it a spoiler vlog, and I was reading like quotes from the book and mentioning plot things that happened that were important that you know, would not know about possibly if you had not read the book or seen the movie. And so I took those out because I decided to make this spoiler free once I saw what the video was actually really going to be. So if there's anything awkward, it's like because I cut stuff out because I was trying to avoid spoilers. Without further ado, back to a year ago me. I thought it'd be really fun to see because I have not read this book in over 10 years. Possibly longer. The first time I read this book, I was 14 years old. I was a freshman in high school when I first read this book. And it was shocking to me that I loved it so much back then, because now when I see these freshmen today, I can't imagine them reading this book and enjoying it because it is dense. I remember some of the themes are very like existential in nature, and just the descriptions are sometimes really, you know, flowery language and long. And I just can't imagine teenagers nowadays like reading and enjoying this. But obviously I loved it as a teenager, and then I reread them and reread them and reread them. And there's only a couple in the series I've never reread. So I just thought we could do a whole series where we read and discuss the books. This is my signed copy. It says Megan. Oh, by the way, I said I read this when I was 14. I am now almost 37. So these books have been with me for like half of my life, and well, over half my life, obviously, which is absolutely crazy. So right here, let's see, book 1 for Megan. And yes, this is my terrible paperback version that is signed, but I loved this copy. I mean, I just loved, this was just my copy. So therefore this is the one I wanted signed. And obviously R.I.P. Anne Rice. She passed away several years ago now. Still waiting on her to have that celebration of life thing in New Orleans that her son is planning for her. They were going to plan it before, but the pandemic was a thing. And so now hopefully it's coming soon, because I'm going. My husband and I, hopefully taking our child as well. Maybe we'll leave him here with the in-laws. I don't know. We're going to New Orleans for her celebration of life whenever they have it. So anyway, it'll be a big party. This book is 300. Wow, there's literally nothing at the end of the book. It just goes up to the last page. Not even like about the author or anything. There's one last little page and that's it. 342 pages. 342 pages. If you don't know anything about this book, well, where have you been? I don't know. It's also a movie with Tom Cruise and, you know, Brad Pitt and Antonio Banderas and Kirsten Dunst. Really popular movie, obviously, back in the day. Loved the movie too. Anne Rice either totally wrote or helped write. I can't remember. I think she totally wrote the screenplay for it. I'm sure there was maybe like a screenwriter that helped, but it's really true to the book too. And I just absolutely love the vibes of the movie is perfect. They're the vibes of the book exactly, like with the music, just the atmosphere, the lighting, everything is so perfect. This book, I mean, yes, it's obviously one of my favorites, but I mean, because it's the start of the series, but it is from Louis's point of view, whereas many of the other books are from Lestat's point of view, including the very next one. And Lestat, of course, is like the best character in literature of all time ever, in my opinion. He is my favorite. So we're going to see if he's as good in this book. I remember, you know, it takes a while to warm up to him in this book because he's more kind of the villain. And Louis's like, poor me, I'm so sad and tragic, and he doesn't eat humans, you know, he only wants to drink from animals. And Lestat's like, who cares, you're evil now, kill them all, let's make child vampires. So we'll see if Lestat is lovable in this book. And we're also going to see if it holds up. We're going to see if I love it as much, because I've read so many books since I started BookTube, like 4 years ago, since I've been on BookTube, almost my 4-year anniversary. And I've read so many books, like hundreds of books. I read 100 books just last year. But I would just reread my same favorites over and over. I'm intrigued to see if this will hold up. So I'm going to read a little bit and I'm going to update you. We'll just see if my thoughts and feelings are the same as they were, you know, 13 years ago at this point. And by the way, I always read this book around spring break. Like it's spring break right now. And I don't know why, but I always read this book at springtime. And it is not a springy book. It's just the first time I read it, I guess, was spring break. And now it's just, it used to always be my spring break book. I'd like read it once a year. So I'm so intrigued to see if it holds up. Like I said, I know it's kind of slow moving. So I'm resigned to that and I'm ready for it. My heart is ready to do this reread of this entire series. Time for another bedtime update. Because that's what I do in these vlogs, is just sit around in these terrible pajamas that are Christmas themed that I'm still in. And I don't even know what month this is. Almost April at this point. My child is trying to go to sleep. Oh. He's saying no. No. Sometimes he says, Mommy, Mommy and Daddy, Mommy, 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 come get me. Mommy, come back. And I'm like, oh, no, it's bedtime and you need to go to sleep. Just a really quick update. I am now on page 66 and I feel like I've been reading this book forever. I feel like I've read it for half my life. No, not really, but I've read this book for over half my life, like when I first started it. I started reading this, I don't know. Well, we already talked about this, didn't we? I was like 14. I don't know. I was young. Anyway, I'm on page 66 and I have thoughts. So, you know, I wanted to know if it was the nostalgia of it and just how much I used to love it. And then, of course, I've read so many more books since I've read this that I was so curious to know what my thoughts would be. Would I think as highly of it as I used to? And it was never my favorite book in the series anyway. You know, books 2 and 3 were my favorites, especially the second half of book 2, and then like all of book 3 were my favorites. So, and now I always enjoyed this one. And I do remember thinking that the first little bit was slow, that, you know, once they got to New Orleans and they met Claudia, like it would be fine. Like it would be a lot faster paced. It's pretty slow. It's pretty daggone slow. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't say I'm bored. I'm not bored because I know what's coming and the writing style is still so good. I'm enjoying that. But yeah, they are still not in New Orleans. I don't know why I thought that they would be in New Orleans already. They're still just around the plantation. Yeah. Lestat, I feel like Anne Rice definitely changed Lestat's character as she like wrote more Lestat books, especially, well, from this one to like Vampire Lestat, where she uses his first person point of view. Of course, this one we're seeing Lestat from Louis's point of view and, you know, third person here. Well, first person, but I mean, Lestat, he just says like, you know, Lestat did this, Lestat did that. And he just almost seems like a different character. Like, you know, it would almost been more interesting would have been to read the Vampire Lestat first again, and then read this one to make it more like chronological. Because that's basically where, if I remember, I'm pretty sure that's where Vampire Lestat leaves off, is like when he gets, like, he's getting ready to go to New Orleans or something, and then like he meets Louis and stuff. So, it's hard to believe that the entire plot of the Vampire Lestat happens before this book even exists. I mean, clearly, I don't know if she even had plans to write more. I don't know if it's just because of the popularity of this one that she decided to write more or what, but yeah. So yeah, Lestat's not quite likable yet. I don't know why, you know, from this book, even I used to love him even just from this book, let alone the other books. He's definitely not very likable. I mean, he's kind of funny. There was one part where he said something kind of funny. I'm trying to remember what it was. Like, oh, I wish I could find it. It was actually really, really funny. I don't think I wrote down where it was. Like, he insults him. He gives him this insult, and it was like the best insult I've ever seen. Like, I found it. Louis says, "You're talking madness. The fact is, I want you gone from here." He says, you know, like, he's already a vampire, and he's like, "I want you gone." And Lestat says, "You want me gone? You," he sneered. He was building a card palace on the dining room table with a pack of very fine French cards. "You whiny coward of a vampire who prowls the night, killing alley cats and rats and staring at hours at candles as if they were people, and standing in the rain like a zombie until your clothes are drenched and you smell like old wardrobe trunks in an attic and have the look of a baffled idiot at the zoo." That's all one sentence, and that just sounds so like Lestat, and I love it. And that's like the first time we really see, I feel like, his personality coming out in this, and I was cracking up. I was like, that is hysterical, and they just move on from it. I was like, that's wonderful. It's like he gets more animated as he goes. It's like, "You are a whining coward. Who does this? Who does that? And by the way, you look like a baffled idiot at the zoo." I thought that is hysterical. Like, I love it. So yeah, we're plugging along. I think we're getting to, well, you know, the chapters are like non-existent in this book. Like, the chapters are there really are not chapters. There's just every now and then there's a break in the page. Like there are no chapter numbers. It's just one giant chapter. So I think the next break in the page, like I said, I'm on 66. I think the next break in the page is like 95 or something. It's really far along. And I think at that point they've already met Claudia. Yeah, page 95. So they're going to meet Claudia here soon. And then I can finally get to some of the New Orleans stuff and see if I remember liking it any better. I mean, I'm still enjoying it, obviously. But no, it's definitely different than I remembered. But it has been probably 10 years since I read it. So anyway, I will keep you updated. Okay, I'm 100 pages in and I have to give you an update. The update is it's still slow moving. And I don't even want to say this out loud, but I kind of have to. And it is that it's a little boring. Not boring, just not, no, it's not boring. That's not the right word. It's just not as good as I remember, which I never claimed that this was my favorite book in the Vampire Chronicles series, which is Queen of the Damned, which goes, that better hold up or else. And then the second half of the Vampire Lestat are my favorites. And I like a lot of the other ones too. And I always did really like Interview with the Vampire because obviously it's what starts the whole thing. But of course, not having it from Lestat's point of view, like we do so many of the other books, and him being my favorite character and the reason why I love the series, a lot, in addition to many other reasons why I love the series, is definitely a big factor. So yes, they finally, okay, they're in New Orleans. I was shocked how abrupt the transition to New Orleans was. Like they were on the plantation forever, right? And then they burn the plantation down because the slaves all realize that there's something wrong. Like they don't know they're vampires, but like they know that there's something wrong, that, you know, something supernatural, and they're gonna kill them. And there's gonna be apparently some sort of uprising. So they're like, okay, you know what? Just burn the place down and let's get out of here. But very suddenly it was like, okay, then we left New Orleans and now we're here, and then all this other stuff's happening. And it was just very sudden, the whole transition to going to New Orleans, which, yeah, it's an interview, so it's not like he's going to tell every detail of their trip to New Orleans or something. But it just, yeah, I was just very shocked how quickly they got there. And Lestat has had less personality than I remember, up until now. Now he's showing some personality, like where he's, you know, toying with those women that he plays with, like, and doesn't kill the one and keeps like draining her, and then he's like, okay, you're actually dead now, and he makes her like lay in this coffin. And now in retrospect I'm like, this is really weird. like Lestat was bad. Like he's like, these are some creepy kind of off-putting scenes, you know. And back in the day, it didn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me to read them, but I'm just like, I used to just be like, huh, yeah, okay, whatever. And like, I made my parents read this book because I thought it was good. They probably thought I was like messed up. Like I was, you know, 14 years old reading this book, loving it. And they're probably like, what? So it was definitely a lot different than I remember, I'm glad I'm rereading it because, yeah, it's interesting. But I have to say, I don't have the urge to pick it up like I used to. Like, I'm not sitting here clamoring to be like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait till I get to open this book to read it again. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I have some time. I guess I could read it, or I could watch a YouTube video. Maybe it's just a sign of the times too, that I'm just distracted a lot more easily by YouTube and social media and stuff. But anyway, I'm going to try to read a chunk of it today, just taking like a little break, sitting down, reading it. It's taking me a long time though. Like it's taking me like 2 minutes per page to read this book. I think it's because I always savor Anne Rice's writing, even though of course it is slow moving and you could technically skim through a lot of the description and stuff, but that's the part I love. So, which is really weird because most books that's not the case. I'm like plot, 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 skip the description, don't care. This book I'm like, let me read every word meticulously, and I have to picture it in my head, and I have to be able to smell the smells and see the sights, and that's what I do with this book because her writing is just so well, descriptive, I suppose, but like just the feel of it. It's like you can truly imagine yourself there, which is why I went to New Orleans 3 times after I read this series, because I've absolutely loved it. New Orleans is like my favorite city ever now, all because of Anne Rice's writing style. So I'm still enjoying her style itself, and some of the themes of the book and the things it talks about are really interesting. So that's the kind of stuff I'm even more looking for this time around, is like, what is she actually saying? You know, what are they discussing besides just vampire stuff? Like there's got to be a deeper meaning to all of this. So they have had some conversations that are kind of leading to some other deeper meanings. So I hope it will continue more talking about like their souls and the difference in good and bad. Like Lestat says, there is no such thing as evil. The evil's like just objective, like whether people think it is or something, which isn't, that's what Hamlet said. I can't remember, something about nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. I think it was Hamlet that said that. It was from Hamlet, but I can't remember what character. But yeah, thinking good. What? Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So like until you decide it's good or bad, it's not. And he kind of says, Lestat sort of says the same thing. So anyway, I always think that kind of stuff is interesting. So I'm going to read some more, and when I'm quite a bit further in, let's get a ways in before I give you another update. Now that they're in New Orleans and now that Claudia's with them, I think things are about to get a lot more interesting. Editing Megan here again. This is an example of a spot where I was originally going to have a quote from Lestat showing that he was being like really mean to another character, but I spoiled some things in it, so because it's like halfway through the book almost, so I didn't want to leave that part in here, but I did go on and on and on like this huge big rant about how I could not believe that Lestat was as mean as I remember it. Like I didn't remember him being that mean, and of course, like, you know, we get to see his points of view in the other books and he doesn't seem that mean, but he's like truly just cruel in some parts of this, and that was what this quote was going to be right here in this clip, but I took it out because of spoilers. So is this sad or what? I have chosen to put away laundry rather than read Interview with the Vampire. Like, I literally have no reading time, and this is what I have chosen to do with the free time that I do have. I don't know what this says about it. I'm only on page 1. Did you see that? That flipped out of there. I'm on page 121. It still smells good. It's so springy, it's so summery outside. Like, I don't want to read this depressing book. It's kind of depressing. What is wrong with me? I think YouTube, or like being on BookTube, like watching so many BookTube videos and reading so many BookTube books has really made me realize that there's a lot more out there than just Anne Rice, like who I thought was like the best author ever. And she's still my favorite author, don't get me wrong. I mean, who knows, maybe by the end of this series I won't say that. But I found so many other books I enjoy. I always thought I only enjoyed like a few series like this and Game of Thrones and Harry Potter and the Dresden Files were my 4 favorites. And I was like, nothing else can compare. But I found some other like really, really good books. And now it's like, I don't think it's that I don't really like this book. It's not anything like that. It's just that I don't want to reread books. Like, I want to read new books because I've enjoyed reading new books for like 3 years now. And I don't, maybe even 4. I think, yeah, I started BookTube 4 years ago. So I've been reading new books for 4 years without rereading. This is the first book. No, second book. I reread Slade House. Other than that, I don't think I've reread a book in 4 years, which I used to reread books all the time. So I think that's part of it. I just don't want to do a reread because there's so many books out there and I have so limited free time. That's what it is. So yeah, I'm going to go listen to my audiobook, which is not this, while I fold the laundry. Okay, I don't even want to talk about how long it's been since I gave you an update. I mean, it's been almost a year. I still have this vlog on my phone. This must be the longest vlog that anyone has ever filmed. It has been a long time. Like, it is, I don't even want to tell you. It's March 31st of 2025. And I think I started filming this like a year ago. I don't even know. I'll have to look back and I'll let you know at the end of this video how long it's been that I've been filming it. But every spring break, I like to read this book. Did I film this last spring break and tell you that I like to read these on spring break? I don't even know. It's been like a year. But I finally decided I want to continue reading Interview with the Vampire. So I'm about halfway. I was right about halfway. But other books, I think we decided that the reason why I'd paused on it, and she's not my favorite author anymore, or because it's not one of my favorite series anymore. It's because there are so many other books out there, and maybe my tastes have changed a little bit too. That's what we have to be honest and see if that's the case. But I think I need to give it more than one book in the series to decide that. But I think she's still one of my favorite authors. Her writing's still great. There's just so many other books out there that I kind of want to read. So that's more of the problem. And the time that I have to read is very limited during the school year, especially. Oh, I just had to stop and smell. Oh my gosh, it's so old and it smells so good. But the reason I've decided to start rereading is Nosferatu. I just recently watched this movie and it was way better than I expected. Like, it's dark, it's scary. It is not the typical vampire like this. Like, it is, yeah, it's a monster movie. It's a horror movie. Oh, I just lost my place, but I think I saw what page I was on. It's a true horror movie and it was actually quite frightening. But it's giving me a kind of a resurgence of interest here in reading about vampires. So I'm going to start reading this today because it is spring break. I always read this book on spring break, or I used to when I was younger. And I will give you an update and hopefully I can just sort of get through it. Because obviously these are not scary vampires. They're like moderately scary vampires. They do kill people. Like, people do die, right? Lestat is pretty crazy, but he's not like Nosferatu level of like all-consuming, just pure dagnasty evil. Which, that was from a video way back in the day, like a Star Wars parody on YouTube, where somebody said he's pure dagnasty evil. So I say that all the time. So Lestat is not pure dag nasty evil. Obviously, they're like morally complex, morally gray characters, but they're not like Twilight vampires either. So I feel like they're somewhere in between. They're not Twilight, but they're not Nosferatu either. So anyway, I will continue and let you know how it goes. But first, Red Bull. So you've reached the end of this vlog, and you may say, Megan, where's the other half of this book? I'm DNFing. Okay, this is gonna sound crazy to say. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm DNFing Interview with the Vampire. And it's not the book's fault. It's not. I don't know what's the matter. I mean, this is one of my favorite series of all time ever. But I think I'm just not in the mood for a reread. I did go back and look. It's been a year since I started this book. I guess I'm just not in the mood. I cannot force myself to read it just for this video. So it's kind of a failed video, I guess, but I've learned a lot. I've learned that, like, one, I can't make myself just read a book because I think I should. And two, I just don't think rereads are for me right now. I was sitting here thinking how excited I was to start a different book. I was gonna start reading a book for another vlog where I just finished reading the book Wrecked by Heather Henson, and it was really fast paced and just like so fun and easy to read. And I was like, I want something else like that, like another just like young adult, fast paced book. It's springtime outside. Usually I do read this book in the spring, but I also just watched Nosferatu, and maybe I just don't want the gloomy vibes anymore. Maybe I want something bright and happy. I don't know. Well, the book I'm about to start is not bright and happy, though. It's a horror novel, like a young adult horror called I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me or something. I was like, oh my gosh, I should start that book. And so I thought I'd go grab it and start it. And then I was like, I can't, I have to read this. And I was like, I don't want to have to read this. I don't want to think, oh, I have to read it. So I've read it so many times. Like, I've read this book so many times. I've seen the movie so many times. I know everything that's happening. And like, yes, the writing's really good, but like, why am I rereading it then? I don't know. I guess I'll just try the TV show. That's what I'll do. Okay, follow-up video idea. I will watch the TV show and report back and let you know my thoughts, because I'm really scared that I'm gonna hate it. I love the original movie. I can't imagine how the TV show is gonna be better. And also there's the Made for a Witch series, so maybe I could do a video about like both those or something, like do Anne Rice's TV show stand up to like the books? There's no way. The Red Witching Hour is like one of her best books ever. I can't imagine that the TV show would be any good. But I will give them a try and let you know how it goes. But for now, it pains me. Oh, I took the bookmark out. Oh my gosh. For now, I'm DNFing Interview with the Vampire. And that concludes this reading vlog with an unexpected turn of events. That's shocking to everyone, right? Because it's one of my favorite books ever. She's my favorite author ever. I don't know what's happening. Maybe one day I'll be in the mood to reread the entire series and do a whole like series reread, read them all in a row when I'm truly in the mood to. But for right now, I just, I spent my whole younger years rereading my favorite series. Like, I loved the Dresden Files. I loved Harry Potter. I loved the Vampire Chronicles. I would just reread those three over and over and over. And I don't even know if I'd want to reread it. Well, Harry Potter, I started rewatching the movies because I thought, well, I don't have time to reread them. I could just watch the movies. And then Dresden Files, I would love to do a reread at some point, but once again, I don't know if I have time to commit to that many books. Maybe it's because I don't have the time either. Like, I have so limited time to read with a child and like other stuff going on. Like I said, my mom's been in the hospital. I don't know. Maybe I just don't have time. So therefore, the limited time I do have, I want to read new stuff. So I'm going to go read new stuff that I am excited to read. I'm going to take my own advice. I made a video about DNFing books, like signs that you should DNF a book. And I'm going to take my own advice from that video, and I'm DNFing Interview with the Vampire. It's official. All right, let me know your thoughts down below. Maybe you can help me figure out why I DNF'd it. All right, and I will talk to you guys again later. Bye.